welcome to Gulfstream Park. It is Florida Derby Day, March 29th, 2014. Christina Bossanakis, and joined by my man, Mike Walsh from the Daily Racing Form.
Forgot my name after all these weeks.
I'm excited. It's Florida Derby Day. It's a big day. Happy Florida Derby Day, folks. And we do have, it's overcast here today, and there's quite a strong breeze and showers in the area, but I'm not sure if it's going to hit us or not.
Yeah, I mean, they're calling for a big chance of rain today. Hopefully it'll stay away. Like you say, it's around us, but not here yet. And a pretty strong wind that's going to be blowing into the horses' faces, a headwind coming through the stretch.
So we've got a lot of ground to cover here today. We do have a carryover in the 20-cent Rainbow Six, $4.2 million. And folks, the Rainbow Six starts today in race 9 because we do have a 14-race card. Mike, let's do it.
Yeah, the main track been playing very fast lately. It was playing fast this morning for workouts, so speed's been an advantage here, both on the dirt and on the turf. We'll see if that holds up during the course of the day. It could influence a lot of the results of these races if that's the case.
Well, looking on, we'll jump right into the first race on the card, and it is a maiden special weight for 3-year-olds, 7 furlongs on the main track. And my top selection, and it looks like both of us went in the same direction, number 7, Moon Song from the Graham Motion barn. And Mike, I really like the horse that he finished the second behind, and that was Peter Island, that Son of Tappet. I think he's going to be a really nice horse, and I think this one could be pretty good too.
Yeah, Moon Song ran a great race the first time. Didn't break real sharp, disputed the pace. The race kind of collapsed around him, but he still held on willingly down the stretch. He was the only one of the horses up front early that was also around at the end. So I like Moon Song. Viva Majorca took a run at Moon Song, and the lead is 4 wide into the stretch and then flattened out. But Ian Wilkes, usually his horses need a race, gets Lasix today, comes off some good works, but that rail draw, I don't know about that. And a couple of firsters that you might want to look at: Financial Modeling, working well up at Palmettos, and also Dream Saturday Blinkers On has been working fast locally here at Gulfstream Park.
Moving on to the second race on today's card. It is an allowance optional claiming with a claiming price of $100,000, a mile and 16th on the turf course. We do have a couple scratches at number 2 and number 6 and number 12, and that kicks off the early pick 4. And both of us again, Mike, on number 2, and that is Seal Cove from the Shug McGahee barn, coming off of an 8th last time, beaten 4 lengths. What did you make of that last race?
I think it was a race he needed. He also didn't get the best trip in the world. You're going to see a replay as they turn into the stretch. When it comes up here, Seal Cove is going to be on the outside, and he's going to fan about 7 or 8 paths wide. He's in the white hat there on the extreme outside. He tries to make a run here. Remember, this horse was coming off a pretty good layoff. That's him way outside there, and he flattened out late. He changed leads a little bit late as well. So I think everything being equal, this was a very strong field. Sky Blazer came out of this race to run a big race, winning an allowance race several weeks later. Unbridled Ocean also came out of here to finish 4th in the Canadian turf. It was a strong field all around. I think Seal Cove drawing back inside today. I look for him to move forward off of that. For a price horse in here, though, I'm going to go with Bambazonki. Bambazonki has been off for a while. He hasn't been on grass for a while, but he's been working extremely well week in and week out on the dirt here. We've seen about 4 or 5 excellent works from this horse. Go back to last year, he finished 2nd to Charming Kitten in the Kitten's Joy Stakes with not the best of trips in the world either. So this horse will handle the grass. I look for Bambazonki to run an improved race here at maybe a bit of a price, or a good race here at a bit of a price.
And looking on to the third race on today's card, it is a maiden special weight for 3-year-old fillies, and it is 7 furlongs on the main track. And my top selection, Mike, wow, I hope you have a good day, my man, because I'm on number 10, 13 Arrows from the Chad Brown barn, 2nd last time, beaten just a half a length. I think she's a really nice filly. I thought with maybe a little bit of I would say a better trip. I thought she ran a good race, but I think she's going to step forward.
Yeah, she was hung about 4 paths wide when she made a run into the stretch. She took a lot of betting. There was a lot of talk about her in her first start, and she ran very well. She did finish 2nd. She's come out of that race with a couple of good works up at Palmetto. She's well drawn on the outside here. I thought the only horse that would have scared me was La Madrina, the half to Verrazano, but that horse is out now. So everything being equal, 13 Hours should win here. Now, that being said, Jenny's Rocket is an extremely talented filly. We've been watching this horse work lights out here on a regular basis all winter long. But unfortunately, this horse doesn't break out of the gate. First 2 starts broke slow both times, and then they brought her back to the gate with blinkers on for her last work, and again, didn't break real clean even in the morning. But that outside draw is a plus for her. Like I said, she's got a lot of talent, so if anything in here is going to beat 13 hours, it's going to be Jenny's Rocket if she can break with the field.
And I agree with you, and that was exactly the way I had it in my selections. On to the 4th race on today's card, and is the Grade 3 Rampart. And that is 1 1/8 on the main track. We do have a couple scratches, number 4 and number 7. And Mike, my top selection, I went with number 2, Devil's Cave. I see you went with number 8, and that's Unlimited Budget, which was a little bit, I was scratching my head a little bit after that last race. She was 4th, beaten 7 lengths, didn't have the greatest of starts. We can actually take a look at that break that day, Mike, but a little bit puzzling.
She's going to duck in pretty sharply here. Now, this horse was coming off a layoff. It was asking a lot of her anyway off the layoff, but she was odds on. But you see how far back she is. She's 6-7 lengths behind the leader, our free roll here. Rushes up the rail. It was a pretty speed-conducive track that day. So everything being equal, I think you almost have to toss that race out. Hope she got enough out of it to stretch out around 2 turns. I think Todd Pletcher's also scratching his head a little bit over that race. But you know she can get the distance. You know she's extremely talented. Devil's Cave's going to be winging on the lead. Marty Wolfson pulls no punches with this filly. He said she's best when she's allowed to just drop her head and go. That was the reason why she got a little tired going 1 1/8 the first time. Joel Rosario tried to rate her a little bit. She's going to be out there and going. Speed has been carrying. It may be a tall order for Unlimited Budget to reel her in, but we know she's classy. We know she's very good. So I just took a shot. She's going to be a little bit bigger price, and it's Todd, and it's a big day, so why not with Unlimited Budget? I think Todd's other horse, Private Ensign, will run better than it might look. Her last race, I'll just toss that out, a bad post. I think she's going to improve a lot in here.
And looking on to the 5th race on today's card, and it is a maiden special weight for 3-year-olds, 1 1/16 on the main track. And there is a scratch, number 11, that's Cosmo Blue. And my top selection, I went with number 5, and that's Charged Now. That's the half-2 Kentucky Derby winner, Super Saver. Let me say that again. And this horse debuted on the turf, and to me the pedigree really reads dirt. So I thought I would give him another shot.
You know, I agree with you all around there. I mean, this horse's first race was great on the grass, but it looks like on pedigree. It's kind of odd that they debuted her on the grass, but back on the dirt today. I went with Legend. Legend and Lynx are both coming out of a race where they chased home Ring Weekend. Ring Weekend came back out of that race, won the Tampa Bay Derby. He's going to run next week in the Calder Derby and is already assured of a spot in the Kentucky Derby. The other thing I like about that race is the 4th place finisher in that race, Bay of Plenty, went up to New York after that and just cruised in a maiden special weight race. So it's a key race. Both these horses ran well in that race. I look for both these horses to run well again today, depending upon the trip to separate those two. So I pick Legend, Charge Now, Lynx, and I think somewhere in that those 3 you're going to get the winner, probably the exacta, and maybe the try.
I agree with you, and that was exactly my 3 selections. On to the 6th race on today's card, and is the Grade 2 Gulfstream Park Oaks, 9 furlongs on the main track, and this is for 3-year-old fillies, and we've got a good one. This starts off their 3 pick 4s today. That's the 2nd pick 4 of the afternoon. Number 7, Holiday Magic, was scratched, and I went with number 6, and that's In Tune from the Todd Pletcher barn. I think I feel that the race is going to set up a little bit. It plays to her strength. She's one of the horses that's going to be showing the speed. I'm guessing maybe Whomping Willow might be showing speed or laying off of her, but I think if she gets the early speed the advantage, I think that'll
if she clears off from Whomping Willow, yeah, I'm not so sure that's going to happen. With Whomping Willow breaking inside In Tune, I'm guessing Whomping Willow's going to go for the lead. In Tune's going to stalk her. Hopefully they won't get in the speed duel. I went for House Rules. Now, In Tune is running here today because her stablemate Only For You is not. An unfortunate accident for Only For You, who was undefeated, untested in her previous starts. She would have been the 1-2 favorite in here had she run. But In Tune is also 2 for 2 and a good replacement for her from the Pletcher barn. But I thought House Rules ran a great race in the Devona Dale. Chasing loose on the lead, Only For You. She took a run at him midway through the race. It was the only chance she had. She was not good enough. Only For You drew away, but House Rules still held on for 2nd. Beat Aurelius Bell for the place. Aurelius Bell came back and won a stake last week. So I think House Rules is getting better and better for the Chief. The question is, if this is a speed-favoring track, will she be able to pick up In Tune through the stretch? I'm taking a shot that she will. She'll be a little bigger price probably, and how can you not root for the Chief?
And how can you not root for the Chief? On to the 7th race on today's card is a maiden special weight for 3-year-olds and is a 1.16 on the turf course. And my top selection, Mike, I went with number 5, and that's Palace Gate. It seems that you did as well. Looking at that last race, he's had some issues at the start in a couple of starts actually. In fact, however, he was really wide that day. And
yeah, he broke out okay. He broke well on the outside here, but he's going to wind up ducking out very badly. He's trying to tuck in here. If you see him in the purple silks, number 14, and then watch what happens as they get closer to the first turn. He winds up checking up over heels a little bit, and he's going to duck out right about now. He clipped heels there, actually, and watch him duck out about 6 or 7 pads. Recovered off of that to run a very big race. He's drawn inside. He's an improving horse. I just think if he can get a clean trip, and in these turf races with these big fields, that's always the issue. But with Javier Castellano aboard, I'm looking for Palace Gate to finally break his maiden today. I like Decisive Edge a little bit. I thought this horse, first time on the grass, ran well, showed improved speed with blinkers on. I think he'll carry that speed a lot better today.
And looking on to the 8th race on today's card, and is the Sir Shackleton 6.5 furlongs on the main track. And we do have a couple scratches. Number 2 and number 8 are out. And my top selection, I went with number 7, and that's Dad's Laugh. And I see that you went with Rebo Bobo. Now, Mike, there are a couple of things, and
if you want to call me a chalk-eating weasel, that's fine. I'll take it.
I wouldn't say that. Well, there are 3 horses in there that really figure. Number 1, My Happy Way. I spoke to Joe Orsino yesterday, and he was just saying to me, this horse not only is doing fantastic, numbers-wise, he figures just as much. He's up there with Rebo Bobo. Now, are these two going to get up there early and maybe set it up for Dad's Laugh? Because Dad's Laugh, his numbers are not. He's been doing pretty well too.
Yeah, all these horses are in great form. The only thing that concerns me about Happy My Way is when he ran second to Rebo Bobo the last time, he broke from the rail and didn't break real sharp. He's got the rail again today.
Yeah.
So the start is going to be key here for Happy My Way. If he comes out and can outrun Rebo Bobo to the lead, it might change things a little bit. But I think, considering the post positions, I think Rebo Bobo is a big edge. 6.5 furlongs, just about his limit probably. But trainer Jason Service not worried about the extra distance. And with speed carrying, I'm looking for Rebo Bobo today. He's been down inside in his other races and kind of had to check back a little bit and take back other speed horses. From the outside, he's going to get a clean run. I like Rebo Bobo. I threw Cosetti in the mix just because this horse works so incredibly in the morning. He has a lot of hanging him in the afternoon, but he's been working just as good as any horse here on the grounds. Going to get a nice trip stalking. Again, he's probably going to hang in that win, but I think he can hit the board at a little bit of a price.
And also, one more thing, Dad's Laugh carrying 6 pounds less than Rebo Bobo today, and also 4 pounds less than Happy My Way. He was only beaten a half a length last time, Mike. Sometime, the 6 pounds.
He's been holding his form incredibly well. I'm just wondering at what point will he level off and not keep doing it. But I can't argue. Anyone who likes Dad's Laugh in there, as good as he's running right now, if he gets the trip, and again, trip will be key to this one because there's a lot of good horses in here.
It sure will. On to the 9th race on today's card, and is an allowance optional claiming event with a claiming price of $75,000. 7.5 furlongs on the turf course, and this race kicks off the Rainbow Six. There's a carryover. It's over $4.2 million. And my top selection, I went with number 5, Little Michelle from the Carlo Vaccarezza barn, as she broke her maiden, came from off the pace, well off the pace to break her maiden, her debut last time. I thought she ran a pretty good race, and in fact, I think the filly that beat her that day, Sweet Emma Rose, a nice filly that ran well over at Royal Ascot in England, I think she's going to be a nice filly, so I put her on top on my ticket.
Look, I like Little Michelle. You can't knock anything that this filly has done so far, but she is stretching from 5 to 7.5 for the first time, so that's a little bit of a question mark. I took a chance with Danilin. I think this horse will offer a little value in here. Had trouble last time. I thought this horse ran well. Took up sharply at the top of the stretch. They had an alter course at the 8th pole. Looked like had plenty of run, and still continued on willingly. She's got the rail again today. Hopefully she'll be able to get through and not get caught in traffic, but we'll offer some value in what again is a wide open race. Charlie A ran a monster race first time out on the turf. It's a little surprised to see her on the dirt second time out, but back where she likes it today on the grass.
Mike, we could take a look at that race at Danilin, that quarter pole to the wire, and what you were just talking about, so just so people can have an idea in terms of the trip that she had last time.
Yeah, she's in the blue hat here, I believe, and you're seeing her check up in here. and then she's going to duck into the inside here, trying to work her way through traffic, and she continues on pretty well. So I'm just hoping if she can get a clean run today, it might be good enough to put her in the winner's circle, and she'll be a little value in what is another wide open race.
On to the 10th race on today's card, the Grade 3 Orchid, and it is a 1.5 miles on the turf course, and we do have a scratch, number 4, Antonia Autumn's out, and this kicks off the pick 5, and today there is a guarantee of $250,000 in today's pick 5, and my top selection, I went with number 1, Egg Marine from the Christophe Clement barn. Coming into this, I have a good second place effort, beaten just a length by Inimitable Romany, who's also in here. I had her on my ticket as well.
Yeah, I didn't want to pick Egg Marine because I wasn't sure how to say it, pronounce it, so I wanted you to do that first. But Inimitable Romany, you won't get the price today that you got last time on her, but I thought she was awful impressive winning the very one. She didn't break real sharp. She was rank early. She got hung out wide, and she still kicked on and won pretty impressively. The extra distance should probably only help her. Hopefully she won't be as rank early today, and she'll get a clean run. And I thought Egg Marine is the one to beat. Changed leads late in that race, but still continued on willingly, but no match for Inimitable Romany that day, and they look like the right two again here.
Looking on to the 11th race on today's card, and it is the Grade 3 Appleton. It is a mile on the turf course, and we do have a scratch, number 10, and that is Cosetti. And there is this is the late pick 4 today. There's a guarantee of $400,000, and in race we also have a scratch of the number 12, and that's K-Tron from that race as well. So, Mike, my top selection, I went with number 4, Mr. Online, and he's a really consistent horse. He's going to be showing speed here today. Doesn't seem to be the only speed in here, but he's so consistent, and I think he'll be tough to beat.
That's the key to me with Mr. Online. Will he get loose in here from Grand Tito and 5-iron? If he makes the lead and cruises early and doesn't get pressed, he's going to win. Like I said, the turf course has been holding speed unless we get some rain during the day that changes that. But I went with Tetradrachm. I'm hoping maybe Mr. Online will get softened up just a little bit. Tetradrachm's been on the lead in his last 2 starts against better horses than these, but those were going longer distances. At a mile, he's not going to be on the lead in there, but I think he's going to get a good stalking trip. And if Mr. Online gets softened up just enough, I think Tetradrachm in his present form could pull the upset.
Moving on to the 12th race on the card, it is the Grade 3 Skip Away, and it is a 1 mile and 3/16 on the main track, and there is a scratch. Number 3, Grand Tito, is out. And my top selection, I went with number 5, Nevada Kid. Nick Zito trains this one. He's going to be showing speed. I'm hoping he's going to be one of the only horses up on the pace. Mike, I was happy to see Grand Tito out of there.
Yeah, Grand Tito out of here, but you got Senior Quisqueano in here, and I don't see Nevada Kid getting away from Senior Quisqueano. You never know how these things will play out, but that's how I look at it. I took Todd Pletcher here with Micromanage. This horse did not like being down on the inside last time in the mine shaft at the fairgrounds in a race he probably needed. Draws outside today, gets blinkers, which could be key. He's breaking way outside. The scratch will help him, but also with the blinkers, it might help him show a little more early speed to get that position he needs into the first turn. Classy horse. The distance should be a plus. He'll be a little bit of a price. This is a very wide open race. Question marks on War Dancer going back to the dirt. Nicky Sandcastle, who's training well, going back to the dirt. I took Micromanage.
Race 13 is the Grade 2 Pan American. It's a 1.5 miles on the turf. And we do have a scratch. Number 7, Amir's Prince, is out. And 2 jockey changes. Number 9, Kendrick Carmouche will ride Russian Greek. Number 10, News Dad, will have Joel Rosario aboard, who's also getting blinkers off here today. My top selection, and looks like we both went in the same direction, number 1, and that's Slumber. Yeah,
Slumber had a real tough trip last time, and I thought ran really well. He had to check a couple of times. He looked loaded at the top of the stretch. He got outmoved by the horses that finished in front of him that day, and still came on and finished up well once he got clear. The trip again, like I said, he's down on the inside. Hopefully he'll get a clean run on the rail. Admiral Kitten's a Grade 1 winner, but he's a little bit of a question mark at 1.5 miles, as is Charming Kitten. So Slumber is not, and I like Slumber.
On to the 14th and last race on the card. It is the Besalou Stables Florida Derby, and that is for 3-year-olds, 9 furlongs on the main track. And my top selection, I went with number 6, General A-Rod from the Mike Maker barn, and here's another consistent horse. He's been exchanging wins with Wildcat Red. They each have 1 victory, but I know you went with Cairo Prince. We can take a look at Cairo Prince's latest victory. Mike, really impressive in the Grade 2 Holy Bull.
Yeah, I think he's the best horse in here,
I
but he
do
is
too.
coming
I
off
think
a 9-week layoff, and there is some question about how this race is going to play out pace-wise. If they let Wildcat Red loose on the lead and this track is favoring speed, he may not look back at all. If Constitution and General A-Rod press him early, it will help Cairo Prince immensely. Like I said, Cairo Prince, I think, is the best horse in here, even though he's been off 9 weeks, and you would think maybe they're using this race as a prep for the Kentucky Derby. They can't do that. They're not in the Kentucky Derby yet. They need to earn points in here. Cairo Prince needs to bring his A game today. It looks like he's training to bring his A game today, and I'm going with who I think is the best horse, even though the price won't be there. Constitution, this horse could be any kind. I don't know. He's only had 2 starts, giving away a lot of experience, but he's been working tremendously since his last race, as he has been all winter up at Palmettos. The question is how he'll play this out. Will he chase Wildcat Red? Will he press Wildcat Red? That could be the key to the race. General A-Rod, he dueled Wildcat Red all the way last time. He's going to sit back today on the Joel Rosario. He's not going to go early. I think he's going to sit a couple of lengths off. We'll see if he's good enough to kick on. And also Spot, if you're looking for a long price, Spot has been training unbelievable from what I hear up at Palmetto since his big win in the Swale, but he's never been this far against this caliber of horses. He's really going to have to step up his game today.
I spoke to Nick Zito just the other day about Spot, and he seemed really high on him. At first, he wasn't really thrilled with the post position, but what do you make of the post, him being out there?
Look, it's not the best place to be going 1 1/8. It's a short run to the first turn. I'm sure Corey Lannery is going to try to take back, tuck over, and make one run. Like by the 14th race, we should know if horses can do that today and win. I mean, we may have no chance coming from 6, 7 lengths off the pace. He worked real fast, though, so if he breaks, he might be closer to the early mix than I thought. So, again, I think the run from the wire to the first turn in this race is going to be key to the outcome. See who gets in what position after the opening quarter mile.
Well, that's it. We do have a 14-race card, and what a fantastic card it is. It's highlighted by the Besalou Stables Florida Derby. We also have that Rainbow 6 carryover. It's over $4.2 million. That starts in race 9. Christina Bosanakis, Mike Welsh. Thanks, Mike.
Good luck, everybody.
Big day, and good luck from us. And Ron Nicoletti will join me in just a few. Stick around, folks.